Good morning, peeps. I'm glad you're still with me. I just thought I'd share a bit about how I became a Christian. You know what caused that leap. We used to go to church every Sunday, but I think we did it because that's what you did on a Sunday, not because particularly it meant that much. My dad died when I was 5, and my mum just stopped taking us. We just never went back. I think I always believed in God, but I believed that he was some kind of distant and angry and out to get me, pointing the finger at me, and always getting in trouble. I had a good friend called Lynn, and we had lost touch after my first son was born. When he was around 3, I had a kind of real hunger to find her. I hadn't heard from her in such a long time, and I tracked her down. It was almost like detective work, but I know today that was the Holy Spirit in me, kind of, right, we need to sort this out. So I tracked down her parents' number, phoned her dad. Her dad gave me her number, and yeah, I reconnected with her. And she took me to an event at a church. It was like a concert, sneaky thing that she was. And it was great. It was a great night. It was lots of fun. There wasn't many things said about the Bible. It was just like being at a concert. But I knew the reason behind it. I knew what she was up to. And when we left, we kind of missed the last bus home. Not by a few minutes, by a lot. I was staying at hers. And she was busy trying to figure out, you know, what was the best way to get home, trying to figure out, well, we could get this bus and then we could walk. And she was busy trying to figure it out. And me, being me, I stood in the middle of the street and I went, okay, God, if you are there and you are for me and not against me, you will give me a bus. And I kid you not, the words hadn't left my mouth. And I glanced up. My friend's chin hit the floor. I looked and there was 2 buses, 2 37s that would take us home. Not 1, but 2. And it's like they just dropped from the sky. They were not there and they just appeared. And as clear as day in my head, I heard the words, "You will believe in me if I give you a bus." Have to. And it was like he was laughing at me. God has got a great sense of humour. And I was just blown away. I was in my early 20s, probably 23, 24, something like that. And it honestly blew me away. It was 45 minutes late and there was 2. And I believe he's done that ever since. What you ask for, he gives you abundantly more than you could ever ask or imagine. Think big. You know, if you think your dreams or your ambitions are big, God has even bigger, even better for you. It's an abundance. It's overflowing. But that day, my life changed. That day just transported me to a different place. And was the starting of healing for me. You know, yesterday before during the prayer meeting before church, I had this picture of people just peeking through the curtain. You know, just will I, won't I, should I? And I believe the curtain represented the presence of God. The curtain represented walking into that holy place, just pulling back the curtain and going in. You're welcome. You're welcome. Come. He says, come to me, all who are burdened, and I will give you rest. You know, he says in Psalm 41, it says, I waited patiently on the Lord and he heard me. I waited patiently on the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. He did put a new song in my heart. And that song keeps growing and it keeps reverberating inside my very being. My past wasn't good. My upbringing was horrendous. I suffered a lot, was abused a lot. But he was there. He was there through it all. I can just see it so clearly in my mind when I flip back on the timeline of my life. He was in everything. He was in every detail. And he's in yours too. He is. You may not see it, you may not believe it, but he is. Stop pulling back the curtain and just peeking and just step forward. Just walk into that place. You are welcome. You are welcome. Have a blessed day today. Love you all lots.